Hey everyone, welcome back. Have you ever really looked at a profile picture? Really thought about what goes into that tiny little circle? Today, we're going to deconstruct the modern UI avatar. We're going to see how it goes from just a basic image to this dynamic, shape-shifting thing that tells you way more than just what someone looks like.
That's right. It's basically a storyteller. Think about it. It signals who you are, whether you're online, your whole vibe, really. And it does all that in just a handful of pixels. But, and this is the cool part, turning that story into actual working code, well, that's where things get really interesting. And right away, we hit the biggest problem every single developer faces with this. You know the deal. You upload a nice, wide photo from your vacation, but the app wants a perfect little square or circle. If the code isn't smart about it, you end up with a stretched out, squashed mess. It's a bad look, literally. So what's the solution? How do we fix this?
Well, it all starts with getting that perfect fit. So let's jump right in and see how our source component for today, the B4X Daisy takes on this whole distortion problem head on. And it does it with a really classic, super elegant technique. Okay, so the secret sauce here is a little something called Object Fit Cover. The best way to think about it is, imagine you have a photo and a picture frame. Instead of squishing that photo to make it fit, Cover kind of zooms in just enough so the photo fills the entire frame. The aspect ratio stays perfect. Now, yes, I know the picture spills over the edges, but that just gets cropped away, hidden from view. And what you're left with is a perfectly framed, totally distortion-free image every single time.
So how does it actually work? The logic is actually a pretty straightforward four-step dance. First, the code compares the shape of the image to the shape of the container. Then it scales up the image to fill that container, make sure it's perfectly centered, and finally, it just chops off anything extra. This is so clever because it makes sure the most important part of the picture, which is usually right in the middle, is always front and center.
And check this out. Here's that exact logic right from the source code. This one line, this one function, resolve bitmap cover rect, it does all the heavy lifting for us. It just takes the image itself, the avatar BMP, and the container, the image rect, and bam, it runs through those four steps we just talked about. What it gives back are the perfect coordinates to draw a beautiful, distortion-free image. That's just elegant automation right there. All right, so we've got our perfectly fitted image. Problem solved, right? Well, kinda. But modern apps, they have personality, and that's where masking comes into play. This is what lets us break out of the boring square and circle box and really change the fundamental shape of the avatar to match the whole vibe of an app. And get this, it's all controlled by a single property. With just one little change, we can completely redefine the avatar's silhouette. It's a great way to think about it. We're not changing the image at all, we're just changing the shape of the window we're looking through to see it. So first up, you've got the classic, the industry standard, the circle. It's clean, it's timeless, it just feels natural, No sharp corners, which makes it seem super friendly and really helps your eye focus right on the person's face. But now, watch this. We just change one little keyword to Squircle, and the whole shape just morphs. A squircle. It's this awesome soft shape that's kind of halfway between a square and a circle. It feels a little more modern, a bit more playful. You see this a lot in social or creative apps. And just like that, we can change the property again, this time to hexagon. Instantly, the avatar has a totally different feel, right? It's more geometric, more technical, sharper. This will be perfect for something like a gaming platform or a tech community. What's so incredible about all this is that this amazing flexibility is all powered by one simple function, set avatar mask. A developer just has to pass in a word like circle or hexagon, and the code takes care of all the complicated math. Calculating all the points and curves to draw the shape. It all happens behind the scenes. It's so powerful, but at the same time, it's incredibly simple to use. Okay, so our avatar is looking sharp. We've got a perfect image, we've got a cool custom shape. But wait, there's more. It can communicate even more than that. Let's add another layer of info, user presence. The big question, is this person online right now or are they away? And the way we do this is usually with two simple universal signals. You see a bright green dot and you instantly know, online. They're here, they're available. Then you see a muted gray dot and it means offline. They're not active at the moment. It's amazing how this tiny little indicator gives you so much critical information without making the screen look all cluttered.
And of course, under the hood, a few key properties give developers total control over this. They can just set the avatar status to online or offline, they can turn the little dot on or off completely, and they can even change the avatar online color and avatar offline color to match their app's branding perfectly. It's super flexible. Okay, let's recap. We've got all the pieces of the puzzle, right? Perfect image fitting, cool custom shapes, and those handy status indicators. Now, for the grand finale, let's see how all of this comes together in a real-world scenario, like inside a chat bubble.
A really important idea here is modularity. See, the avatar component isn't designed to live all by itself in a vacuum. It's built to be a team player, a little building block that you can easily plug into bigger, more complex things. And that's where its real power shines. And this little piece of code from the chat bubble component shows that relationship perfectly. You can literally see the chat bubble acting like a manager, telling its own little avatar which mask to wear and what status to show. It calls set avatar mask and set avatar status directly. This is so important because it ensures that every single avatar in a long chat conversation looks and acts exactly the same. It's all about consistency. And just like that, we've come full circle. We started with a really common problem, a distorted image. And then by adding these layers of logic for fitting, for masking, and for status, we've built up to this really sophisticated component that clearly and effectively tells a story of both identity and presence. So, I want to leave you with this final thought. We use hundreds of UI elements every single day without even thinking about it. If this much clever engineering and design goes into one tiny little profile picture, just imagine the hidden complexity and thoughtfulness that's hiding just beneath the surface of the apps you use every day. Kind of makes you look at every button, every slider, just a little bit differently, doesn't it? Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer.